So now, welcome back, guys. Now let's continue. Now, if they put their stop loss at this zone, you have covered what you need to cover, and that is from all this analogy that this particular one came in. You understand? So now you marking out your movements. You should know how you're marking out the movements, and that is how the breakout structure came about. Now, breakout structure is just a resistance zone that the markets have broken. You understand? So it's a failed resistance, or breakout structure is a zone or either support or a resistance that the market violates. So violating it means it broke it, even though we didn't expect it to be broken. So now, when the market keep on breaking above, you know that the market possesses huge momentum that is enough to be breaking above. Which means when a market possesses momentum, or should I say, when there is huge capital inflow into the market will keep on being bullish. And being bullish is where the uptrend comes from. Market does not just move forever up. It goes up and you pull back for a retracement and you continue going. Whenever you see a market just running up without any retracement, know that the same way you run up is still the same way that market will dump. That is it. So now, removing all these things, I have explained that block now. So let's continue with the breakout structures. So if you mark out this zone now this zone is a proposed support zone. This is a support zone, which is a proposed breakout, a place market needs to break. You understand? This is a zone market needs to break. But the market is either the market come and test it, it didn't break it, or the market did not even come to it again at all. Now, market not coming to it at all means that there is a lot of work the market will actually come and do. Know that certainly one day this market will dump, hunting to come and retrace to this zone. Now, you will now see that in this situation now, we had another zone. After the market made this zone, this one did not come back to the zone, only until he completed this move. Then he later came back to this zone. Then after breaking it, he now pulled back again and made another move. Now, what you have just done is identifying external structures. You understand? You have already identified the external structure. Then, those ones that are now made a violation inside or a reaction, I always call it noise. You understand? Those ones are now the internal structures. Now, let's assume that you are doing all these things on a 4 hours time frame. If you go to maybe 15-minute time frame, you will see that this move on 4 hours time frame that is just simple was a downtrend. You understand? Then you will see that this one now, maybe on 1 hour or 15 minutes, was a reverse head and shoulder. You understand? An inverse head and shoulder. So now, how do you do these ones now? You use these ones to scalp a trade. You understand? You know that this market was going upside. Then at this situation now, maybe after pulling back, you don't know the actual place this market will pull back to go to the upside. Now maybe you were waiting for the market to come to this zone. Remember, this movement just started. You were waiting for the market to come to this zone, but the market failed to come to that zone. What are you now going to do? Then you have to, that is why most of the time when you see this situation, then you go to a lower time frame for you to see the innermost part of the market. So when you go to a lower time frame, I cannot go to a lower time frame because this is a drawing. You understand? Even if I go to a lower time frame, the structure does not change. So when you go to a lower time frame, then you will start marking out the same thing that you did. This market pulled up and coming down, it broke this zone, which is a breakout structure. Now this one now is a breakout structure in the internal structure, outside this external structure. In the total structure, which is external structure, you know that the market is making higher high, higher low. You understand? But now you are now inside internal structure because you want to catch up. The market did not now get to this zone and it's showing a sign of reversal. You want to catch up where to place your buy. You are not ready to sell it to this zone. Why? Because this market can decide to reverse from any place without coming to this zone because of this breakout structure. And this market can still come back to break below this place. But the normal sense is that so far you couldn't sell it at this zone, don't sell it inside here. What you do is basically either you buy it to the upside or you wait for the market to break below this zone, then you sell it. You understand? So let's continue. So this is a breakout structure. Then this is another breakout structure. But in this situation, if you don't understand this now, we explain now, go and watch the previous videos and understand how this one works. So this one now will not be called breakout structure again, it will be called change of character. Then because of this change of character, the market changing the behavior, that is what will now prove to you that, oh, I should look for my buy with this wing. Then when it comes to this wing, it always use a week. The market will definitely come here. Then you look for a buy. You see how breakout structures helps you to identify the positions. Always look forward. That does not mean you cannot place your stop loss here, depending on what you wish. But the normal way to trade it is that your stop loss is supposed to be below this low. You understand? So now, then your take profits, it is an uptrend. Yes, we know it's an uptrend. So what me personally I normally do is this: your first take profits at this level when the market pulled back. This is my first take profit. So let me put a line there. This is my first take profit. Then this is my second take profit. Then when it hits this zone, I will now wait if it will break it the way it broke this zone. Then how do I now do the movement? What I normally do is I measure from this part. What will I use to measure it? Okay, let me just say I measure from this part to this part. Then I mark out 50%. Let's assume 50% from here to here is here. Then I measure from here to here and mark out another 50%. When I mark out that other 50% now, you know, you're now marking from here to here. That is the quarter of this thing. You understand? So you now mark out from here to here. I now bring this movement, the size of this movement, I will bring it and place it here and measure it to the upside. Then when I get the movement, I'll place this one as my final take profit on that market. So when I take profit here, when I take first profit here, I'll take second profit at this zone. You understand? Once I take second profit at this zone, then I'll move my stop loss to this zone. When I move my stop loss to this zone, remember I just have little money left there, and I'm no more risking anything. I'll wait for the market to hit my take profit. So that is what I normally do. That is what I normally do. Then, in this situation now, I have explained how to use your support and resist, your breakout structures to identify the market, the entries, the possible place for you to place your entries. Now, let's assume that the market now decide to make this move. Now, when this market was now coming down, you remember a lot of people will still go in for their buy at this zone or this zone. Remember, what happened here was the same thing that happened here. This is an internal structure. What will you do? You just mark out this zone. This is a breakout structure to the down part. Then you mark out this zone. This is a breakout structure to the down part. Then when this market come back and break above this zone, that is a place where you definitely forget that I didn't put the pullback. You definitely pull back, see a pullback on the lower time frame. This movement going for people to enter for another buy. You understand? For this market coming down now, or buy it when it was still going up. So, but in this situation, this market is now coming back. It's coming back to this zone after kicking. Remember, some people will still place their entry here using the same thing I explained here. They'll place their entry here. They'll place around here, and suddenly this market decides to come and pick this zone. Then let's now assume that I pick it and pump, good and fine, you continue that way. But let's now assume that the market decides to break below. Now, when this market breaks below this zone, you don't just start selling immediately that it has broken a structure. No. Yes, I know some people will jump in. But what me personally I normally do is this. Remember, this left shoulder is still below that zone. So this market can still decide to clear all the people here and pick this left shoulder before going up again. And what has the market done? It can pick this left shoulder and start going up again. Now, what has the market done? This is a breakout structure on the external structures. Then this place, the market now came back and broke this zone. Now this zone have now shifted from the breakout structure to a change of character. Now whenever I see this movement now, the market reacting on this zone showing a reversal, I will definitely say I don't trade it to be above this zone. I always make my stop loss, my take profit to be exactly at this zone. Then partial take profit, I will mark out places where I take partial take profit here. But inside me, I don't expect the market to break above here. Most of the time, you see the market gets into this zone, then continue going down, like gets into this zone and continue going down. Yes, this movement that you made, it broke a structure, but it still have the potential to break above, and it still have the possibility of failing to break above, then coming to this zone. Now, what is this thing now telling you? Even though, remember, the market did not test the previous levels. Now that the market is dumping, those previous levels that you have below is still a support zone where markets have the possibility to pull back. But when you see this move and you decide to pull out, clear this zone, when the market decides to clear this zone, don't always conclude that you should sell, because the second zone always hold most of the time. Second zone always hold most of the time, except during news. During news, you will see the market just moving with speed, hunting to just pick this zone. It will be as if it has gone to war, and now it is ready to do whatever it wants to break it. So now, this is how you calm down to draft your entries, your breakout structures. You don't need to be drawing so much drawings in your chart. So how I analyze my own, after drawing it, marking out everything I need, then I will delete it. I'll make my chart very simple. I'll just leave maybe those ones that I know that okay, people would want to see for confirmation. Then I'll delete it. Then you just see me placing how many lines, then place my order. All my students already know. Maybe if it is here I'm placing order, you see it. All my students already know. I'll place it, stop loss below. So now remember, I forgot to say, when you took this zone, if you're taking this zone, your stop loss should be below this head. You understand? So that is how it is being done. I believe you understand. So look forward to the next videos so that you will see how we do the practical in the live chat. At least analyzing the live chat and changing time frames, you understand how all these things works. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.